The transmission fluid on my hands was still warm when Jessica dropped the bomb. I was under a '98 Chevy in my garage, elbow deep in someone else's problem, when I heard her heels click across the concrete floor. "Drew, we need to talk about the wedding." I should have known right then. Nothing good ever starts with, "We need to talk." I rolled out from under the car, wiping my hands on a rag that was probably dirtier than my hands. "What about it?" I asked, squinting up at her. The afternoon sun streaming through the garage door made her look like she was glowing. An angel. That's what I used to think. Funny how wrong you can be. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Jessica Lane, soon to be Jessica Harris or so I thought, stood there in her event planner outfit. Crisp white blouse, navy skirt, heels that cost more than the transmission I was fixing. She had that look on her face, the one she used with difficult clients, patient, understanding, completely full of it. "I've been thinking about the guest list," she said, her voice sweet as antifreeze. "I want to invite Trevor." I sat up, nearly cracking my head on the Chevy's undercarriage. "Trevor? Your ex-boyfriend Trevor?" "It's been 5 years, Drew. We're all adults here. I think it would be mature to include him. Show that there's no hard feelings." I stood up, all 6 feet of me, covered in grease and suspicion. Mature. Right. And what does Trevor's wife think about this mature decision? Jessica's smile didn't waver, but something flickered in her eyes. Monica's traveling for work. She probably won't even come. That's when I should have known. Should have seen it. But I was busy being the understanding fiancé, the guy who wasn't going to be jealous or controlling, the sucker. "If you think it's a good idea," I said, turning back to the Chevy. "I knew you'd understand." She kissed my cheek, careful not to get grease on her perfect outfit, and clicked away. I lay back down under the car, but I couldn't focus on the transmission anymore. Trevor Mason, local hotshot realtor, drove a BMW he couldn't actually afford, wore suits that probably cost more than my monthly mortgage, and had the kind of smile that made you want to check your wallet after shaking his hand. And Jessica wanted him at our wedding. "You look like someone just told you your dog died," Jerry said, shuffling over with a socket wrench. Jerry was 72, had worked in garages since Eisenhower was president, and could spot trouble like a bloodhound. "Jessica wants to invite her ex to the wedding." Jerry whistled low. "The realtor? The slick one with the hair? That's him. Son, I've been married 3 times. Want to know why? Because I was stupid twice. You're about to be stupid once. That woman's up to something." "You're paranoid, Jerry. And you're in love. Same thing as blind, just more expensive." I finished the Chevy around 5, washed up and headed home. We lived in one of those old Maine houses that looked charming in real estate photos and leaked heat in the winter. Jessica loved it because it had character. I loved it because the mortgage was manageable, and the garage out back was perfect for side jobs. Jessica was in the kitchen with Miranda, her best friend and partner in crime. Miranda was the kind of woman who treated gossip like currency and spent it freely. "Drew!" Miranda chirped. "Jessica told me about Trevor. So mature of you to be okay with it." "I'm a very mature guy," I said, grabbing a beer from the fridge. "Monica probably won't even come," Jessica said, not looking at me. "She's always traveling." "Right. Traveling." I popped the beer open. "What's Monica do again?" "Something with pharmaceuticals. Sales, I think." I nodded, taking a long drink. Something was itching at the back of my brain. That feeling you get when you hear a weird noise in your engine but can't quite place it. After Miranda left, I did what any reasonable person would do in the 21st century. I stalked Monica Mason on social media. Her Facebook was public. Recent posts showed her very much not traveling. In fact, she'd been posting from town all week. Coffee at the local cafe, Dinner at that Italian place on Main Street, a book club meeting at the library, not traveling at all. I sat there, beer getting warm in my hand, staring at my phone. Jessica had lied. Small lie, maybe. But why lie about where Trevor's wife was? The next morning, I was at the garage early. Frank stopped by around 9. Frank was ex-military, ran security at the resort hotel where Jessica had booked our wedding, and was the closest thing I had to a best friend. "You look like hell," he said, leaning against my toolbox. "Jessica wants to invite her ex to the wedding." Frank raised an eyebrow. "The realtor? Mr. Perfect Teeth?" "That's the one, and she lied about his wife being out of town. Monica's been here all week." "That's not good, brother." "What do I do?" Frank grinned. "You're asking the wrong question. Question isn't what do you do. Question is, what do you want to know? I want to know if my fiancé is cheating on me. Then find out. You're a mechanic. You solve problems. This is just another problem." He was right. I'd spent years diagnosing issues, tracking down weird noises and mysterious leaks. This wasn't different, just messier. I started paying attention. Really paying attention. Jessica worked late 3 times that week. Came home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. Smiled at her phone when she thought I wasn't looking. Took calls in the other room. All the classic signs, right there in front of me. Then Mrs. Samuels, our neighbor, 75 years old and nosier than a bloodhound, stopped by the garage. "Drew, honey, I probably shouldn't say anything." When someone starts with that, they're definitely going to say something. "But I saw Jessica at the park last Tuesday night, with a man. They were sitting very close on that bench by the pond, holding hands." "What did he look like?" "Tall, nice suit, drove a fancy car." "Trevor." I thanked Mrs. Samuels, my hands shaking as I pretended to organize my tools. The park, at night, holding hands. That evening, I made my decision. If Jessica wanted Trevor at the wedding, fine, but I was going to invite someone too. I found Monica's number through a mutual friend. Called her from the garage where Jessica wouldn't hear. "Monica Mason?" "Speaking." "Hi, I'm Drew Harris. I'm engaged to Jessica Lane. I think we need to talk." There was a long pause. "About Trevor." "Yeah, about Trevor." "Coffee," she said. "Tomorrow. The cafe on Main Street. 10 o'clock. Monica Mason was not what I expected. She was sharp-eyed and sharp-tongued, dressed in jeans and a sweater, no makeup, hair pulled back. She looked like someone who'd stopped pretending a long time ago. "So," she said, stirring her coffee, "Jessica's the event planner." "That's her. The one Trevor's been helping with a big project." I felt something cold settle in my stomach. "What project?" "He said it was some resort event. Been working late on it for weeks. Coming home smelling like perfume." She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I'm not stupid, Drew, and neither are you, or you wouldn't have called me. Jessica wants to invite Trevor to our wedding. Said you were traveling for work." Monica laughed, sharp and bitter. "I work from home. Haven't traveled in 6 months." We sat there, 2 people who'd been played, drinking coffee and plotting. "I have an idea," I said, "but it's going to make a scene." "Good," Monica said. "I like scenes." The rehearsal dinner was scheduled for Friday night at the resort. 50 people. Jessica's family, my small crew of friends, the wedding party, fancy room with a view of the harbor. Jessica had planned every detail. I added one detail she didn't plan for. "You're bringing a +1?" Jessica asked when I mentioned it Wednesday night. "Yeah, someone I met recently. Thought it would be nice." "Who?" "You'll meet her Friday." Jessica looked like she wanted to push, but Miranda called and she got distracted with some crisis about centerpieces or napkin colors or whatever. Friday came fast. I put on the suit Jessica had picked out, charcoal gray, made me look like I was going to a funeral instead of a rehearsal dinner, and headed to the resort early. Frank met me in the lobby. You sure about this? Nope, but I'm doing it anyway. That's the spirit. Want me to have security on standby? Might not be a bad idea. Monica arrived at 6:30, right on time. She wore a red dress that probably cost more than my truck and walked like she owned the place. Ready? I asked. I've been ready for weeks. The rehearsal dinner was in the Harborview room, all windows and white tablecloths. Jessica was holding court with her bridesmaids when we walked in. She saw me first, smiled, then saw Monica. Her face went white. Trevor was across the room, talking to Jessica's father. He looked up, saw Monica, and actually dropped his drink. "Drew," Jessica said, her voice tight. "Who's your guest?" "This is Monica. Monica Mason, Trevor's wife." The room got very quiet. Monica smiled, all teeth. "Jessica, so nice to finally meet you. Trevor's told me so much about your project." Jessica's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Trevor started moving toward us, but Monica held up her hand. "Don't," she said. "Don't make this worse." "Monica, this isn't," Trevor started. "Isn't what? Isn't what it looks like? Because it looks like you've been sleeping with the bride. At least that's what your text messages say." She pulled out her phone, started reading. "Can't wait to see you tonight. Drew's working late again." That was from Jessica, 3 weeks ago. Want me to read Trevor's response? It's pretty graphic. Jessica's face went from white to red. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Really? Because I have about 200 messages that say otherwise. Want to hear the one where you both laugh about how clueless Drew and I are?" The room was frozen. Jessica's bridesmaids looked horrified. Her father looked like he was about to have a stroke. My friends looked at me, waiting. I just stood there, arms crossed, watching it unfold. "This is insane," Jessica said, her voice shaking. "Monica, you're clearly having some kind of breakdown." "I printed them," Monica said. She pulled a stack of papers from her purse. Every text, every message, every lie. She started handing them out like party favors. "Here, everyone should know what kind of people they're celebrating." Miranda grabbed one, read it, and went pale. Jessica's cousin Aaron took one and gasped. Trevor's business partner looked at one and said, "Oh, Trevor, you idiot." Jessica tried to grab the papers from Monica, but Monica stepped back. "Don't touch me. You've done enough." Trevor finally found his voice. "Monica, we can talk about this at home." "We don't have a home anymore. I filed for divorce this morning. My lawyer has copies of everything." Jessica turned to me, tears streaming down her face. Real or fake, I couldn't tell anymore. "Drew, you have to believe me. This is all a misunderstanding." "Is it?" I asked. "Because Mrs. Samuel saw you at the park, holding hands, at night. That a misunderstanding too?" Her father stepped forward. "Drew, I'm sure we can settle this quietly. No need for all this drama." "Settle it? You mean pay me off?" "I'm prepared to offer you compensation for your inconvenience." I laughed. Actually, laughed. "Your daughter cheated on me with a married man, lied about it, invited him to our wedding, and you want to pay me to shut up about it?" "Name your price." "I'm not for sale," I said. "But apparently your daughter is." Jessica's father's face went purple. Jessica sobbed. Trevor looked like he wanted to disappear. Miranda tried to comfort Jessica, but Jessica pushed her away. "This is your fault," Jessica hissed at me. "You set this up. You brought her here." "Yeah, I did. Because you lied to me. You invited your lover to our wedding and lied about his wife. What did you think would happen? I thought you loved me." "I did. Past tense. Turns out I loved someone who doesn't exist." I turned to Monica. "Want to get out of here?" "Desperately." We walked out together, leaving the rehearsal dinner in chaos. Behind us, I could hear Jessica crying, her father yelling, Trevor trying to explain. The sound of my old life falling apart. Frank caught up with us in the lobby. "That was beautiful, man. Brutal." but beautiful. Thanks for not stopping it. Are you kidding? That was the most entertaining thing I've seen in years. Better than cable. Monica and I ended up at a dive bar on the edge of town, the kind of place where nobody cared about your drama because they had enough of their own. I can't believe we did that, Monica said, staring at her whiskey. Having regrets? No, just processing. I've been angry for so long. That felt good. Yeah, it did. We clinked glasses. What now? She asked. Now? Now it gets worse before it gets better. Jessica's not going to let this go quietly. I was right. Saturday morning, my phone exploded. Texts, calls, voicemails. Most from Jessica's friends, calling me every name in the book. A few from my own friends, asking if I was okay. One from Jerry. Heard about the dinner. Told you she was trouble. Come by the garage when you're ready. I ignored most of them and went to work. The garage was my sanctuary, the one place that made sense. Engines didn't lie, transmissions didn't cheat. A broken timing belt was just a broken timing belt, not a metaphor for your failed relationship. Jerry was already there, coffee brewing, radio playing classic rock. You look terrible, he said. Feel worse. Want to talk about it? Not particularly. Good. Talking's overrated. Let's fix something. We worked in comfortable silence for an hour, me replacing brake pads on a Ford, Jerry doing an oil change on a Honda. The familiar rhythm of work, the smell of oil and metal, the simple satisfaction of solving problems. Then Trevor showed up. He rolled in around 11 in his BMW, still wearing yesterday's suit, looking like he hadn't slept. Jerry saw him first and whistled low. Want me to handle this? He asked. No, I got it. I walked out to meet Trevor in the parking lot. He stayed by his car like he was afraid to get too close. Drew, we need to talk. No, we don't. Look, man, I know you're upset. Upset? I'm not upset, Trevor. Upset is when someone cuts you off in traffic. What I am is done. With you, with Jessica, with all of this. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen? You were going to tell me at the wedding? Or were you just going to keep screwing my fiancée and hope I never figured it out? Trevor had the decency to look ashamed. It just happened. We were working together on the resort event, spending time together. Save it. I don't care about your excuses. I want you out of my life, away from my garage, away from me. Jessica's a mess. She's been calling me all morning. Not my problem. Not anymore. Trevor's shame started morphing into something else. Defensiveness. Anger. You know what? You should be thanking me. Jessica was never happy with you. She wanted more than some grease monkey who smells like motor oil. That's when I smiled. You're right. She did want more. She wanted a sleazy realtor who drives a leased BMW and wears knockoff watches. Real upgrade. Trevor's face went red. My watch is real. It's a fake. I can tell from here, just like everything else about you. He stepped toward me, fists clenched. You want to go, mechanic? Not really, but if you take another step, I'll make an exception. Jerry appeared in the garage doorway, holding a tire iron. Not threatening, just present. Trevor looked at me, at Jerry, at the tire iron, smart enough to know when he was outmatched. This isn't over, he said. Yeah, it is. And Trevor, your left rear tire is low. Might want to check that before you drive off. Would be a shame if you got a flat. He looked at his tire, which was fine, then back at me, uncertain. Just some free advice, I said, from one professional to another. After he left, Jerry came over and clapped me on the shoulder. You let the air out of his tire, didn't you? All four, actually. While we were talking, he'll figure it out in about a mile. That's my boy. But the drama wasn't over, not even close. Sunday morning, Mrs. Samuels knocked on my door at 7 a.m. I answered in my pajamas, bleary-eyed and confused. Drew, honey, I just thought you should know. Jessica's telling everyone you were abusive, That you threatened her at the rehearsal dinner? I was suddenly very awake. What? Miranda's been calling everyone, saying you orchestrated the whole thing to humiliate Jessica, that you've been controlling and manipulative throughout the relationship. That's insane. I know that, dear, but people are talking. You know how this town is. I did know. Small town, big gossip. A story like this would spread faster than a grease fire. I called Frank. We have a problem. I heard. Jessica and Miranda have been working the phones. They're trying to flip the script, make you the bad guy. Can they do that? They can try. But Drew, I was at that dinner. I saw what happened. Monica exposed them, not you. You just stood there. Will you say that if anyone asks? Already did. Hotel management wanted to know what happened. I gave them the full story. Thanks, Frank. Don't thank me yet. This is going to get uglier. He was right. By Monday, the story had evolved. According to Jessica's version, I'd been suspicious and controlling for months. I'd isolated her from her friends. I'd manipulated Monica into believing lies about Jessica and Trevor. The rehearsal dinner scene was my calculated revenge for Jessica trying to leave me. It was impressive, really. A complete fiction, built on just enough truth to sound plausible. My phone rang. Jessica's father. Drew, we need to talk. I thought we were done talking. My daughter is distraught. This scandal is affecting her business. I'm prepared to make you a very generous offer to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Let me guess. You want me to say nothing happened? That it was all a misunderstanding? That Jessica and Trevor are innocent? I want you to move on with your life quietly, without dragging my family through the mud. Your family dragged themselves through the mud. I just turned on the lights. Name your price, Drew. I already told you. I'm not for sale. But here's some free advice. Your daughter's a liar and a cheater. Maybe instead of trying to pay off her problems, you should teach her to face them. I hung up. Jerry was watching from across the garage. That was stupid. Probably. That man has money and lawyers. He could make your life difficult. Let him try. But I was worried. Jessica's father owned half the commercial real estate in town. He had connections, influence, power. If he decided to come after me, he could make things very uncomfortable. I needed insurance. That night, I went back to the house I'd shared with Jessica. She'd moved out over the weekend, back to her father's place, but most of her stuff was still there, including her laptop. I'm not proud of what I did next, but I was fighting for my reputation, my life. Sometimes you have to get dirty. Jessica's laptop password was easy, her birthday. Her email was open. I scrolled through months of messages, found the thread with Trevor. It was worse than I thought. They'd been seeing each other for 6 months, since before Trevor and Monica's anniversary. The messages were explicit, emotional, cruel. They mocked me, called me boring, simple, unambitious, laughed about how easy it was to fool me. There was more. Jessica and Miranda had planned the whole wedding invitation scheme. Miranda knew about the affair. She'd covered for Jessica, created alibis, helped her sneak around. I forwarded everything to my own email. Every message, every photo, every piece of evidence. Then I found something else, something that made my blood run cold. An email thread from 3 days ago. Jessica and Trevor planning their next move. We need to discredit Drew before he can do more damage. If we can make him look unstable, abusive, no one will believe anything he says. Trevor's response. Monica already thinks I'm the victim here. If we can get Drew arrested for harassment or threats, this whole thing goes away. Jessica. I can file a restraining order, say I'm afraid of him, that he's been stalking me. Trevor. Perfect. My lawyer says that's enough to make him look dangerous. No one will take his side after that. They were planning to frame me, to destroy my reputation completely. I screenshot everything and sent it to Frank, to Monica, to my own lawyer. Then I did something I'm not proud of but don't regret. I still had the baby monitor we'd set up in the living room when Jessica's sister's kids visited. Small, wireless, easy to hide. I'd taken it down weeks ago but never returned it. I set it back up, hidden behind a stack of books, and left. 2 days later, Jessica came back to the house with Miranda. They thought I was at work. They didn't know I was listening from my truck parked down the street. "Are you sure about this?" Miranda asked. "I don't have a choice," Jessica said. "Drew humiliated me. He brought Monica to the rehearsal dinner. He ruined everything." "But filing a false police report." "It's not false. He's been threatening. You heard him at the dinner." "He didn't actually threaten you, Jess. He just stood there while Monica exposed you." "Whose side are you on?" "Yours. I'm always on your side, but this is serious. If you lie to the police..." "I'm not lying. I'm interpreting. Drew made me feel unsafe. That's a valid feeling." "This is going to blow up in your face." "No, it's not. Because you're going to back me up. You're going to say you witnessed Drew being aggressive and controlling." Silence. "Miranda?" "I can't do that, Jess. I can't lie to the police." "You've been lying for me for 6 months. That was different. That was covering for you and Trevor. This is accusing Drew of something he didn't do." "So you're abandoning me too?" "I'm not abandoning you. I'm just not going to commit perjury for you." Jessica's voice went cold. "Get out. Jess, get out of my house." I heard the door slam, heard Jessica crying. Then I heard her make a phone call. "Trevor, it's me. Miranda won't help. We need to do this ourselves." "No, I'm not backing down. We talked about this." "Fine. Meet me at the park in an hour. We'll figure it out." The park, where Mrs. Samuels had seen them before. I called Frank. "I need a favor." The park was empty at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday. Just streetlights, shadows, and the sound of the wind through the trees. Very Stephen King, if Stephen King wrote about cheating fiancés instead of killer clowns. I parked my truck where I could see the pond and waited. Frank was in his car on the other side of the park, watching. Monica was at home, ready to come if I called. Jessica arrived first, parking her car near the bench where Mrs. Samuels had seen them before. She sat down, checking her phone, looking around nervously. Trevor showed up 10 minutes later in a different car. A rental, I noticed. Smart. Didn't want anyone seeing his BMW here. I couldn't hear them from my truck, but I could see them. Jessica was animated, gesturing, clearly upset. Trevor kept trying to calm her down, touching her arm, her face. She pulled away, then leaned in. They kissed. Even knowing everything, seeing it, still hurt. They talked for another 20 minutes. Then Trevor handed Jessica something. Looked like papers. She read them, nodded, and put them in her purse. After Trevor left, I got out of my truck. Jessica saw me coming and froze. "Drew, what are you doing here?" "I could ask you the same thing, but I already know. You're planning to file a false police report against me." Her face went pale in the streetlight. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Yes, you do. I heard you. At the house, talking to Miranda, then Trevor. I heard everything." "You were spying on me?" "You were plotting against me. I'd say we're even, except we're not. Because I never lied to you. Never cheated. Never tried to destroy your life." Jessica's fear morphed into anger. "You destroyed my life. You brought Monica to the rehearsal dinner. You humiliated me in front of everyone. You humiliated yourself. I just made sure everyone could see it. I loved you." "No, you didn't. You loved what I represented. Stability, security, someone to fall back on while you screwed around with Trevor." She slapped me. Hard. The crack echoed across the empty park. I caught her wrist before she could do it again. "Don't. Let go of me." "Gladly." I released her and stepped back. "But first, you're going to listen. I have copies of every email, every text, every message between you and Trevor. I have recordings of you planning to frame me. I have witnesses who saw you together. If you file that police report, I'll bury you with evidence. You're bluffing. Try me. We stared at each other, two people who used to share a life, now enemies. "What do you want?" she finally asked. "I want you to leave me alone. Cancel the wedding officially. Stop telling people I was abusive. Move on with your life, and let me move on with mine." "That's it?" "That's it. I don't want your father's money, don't want revenge, I just want you gone." Jessica laughed, sharp and bitter. "You think it's that easy? You think I can just walk away after what you did?" "After what I did? Jessica, you cheated on me for 6 months, with a married man. You lied, you manipulated, I was unhappy. You were never home, always at that stupid garage, smelling like oil, talking about engines. I needed more." "Then you should have left, should have been honest. Instead, you lied and cheated and tried to destroy me when I found out. Because you don't deserve to win. You're just a mechanic, Drew. A nobody. I was supposed to marry someone important, someone with ambition. Someone like Trevor? The guy who's about to lose everything in his divorce? The guy whose business partner is dropping him because of the scandal? That's who you chose?" Jessica's face crumpled. "This isn't how it was supposed to go." "No, it's not. You were supposed to get away with it. Have your affair, marry me for stability, and keep Trevor on the side. But you got caught, and now you have to face it. I hate you. I know. But here's the thing, Jessica. I don't hate you. I don't feel anything for you anymore. You're just nothing. A problem I solved." I turned to walk away. "Drew." I looked back. "I'm sorry," she said quietly. "For what it's worth. I'm sorry. It's not worth much, but thanks anyway." I got in my truck and drove away, leaving Jessica alone in the park. Frank followed me out, flashing his lights once to let me know he'd seen everything. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. 2 days later, Jessica filed the police report anyway. She claimed I'd confronted her at the park, grabbed her, threatened her, said she had bruises from where I'd held her wrist, said she was terrified. The police showed up at my garage Friday afternoon. 2 officers, serious faces, asking me to come down to the station to answer some questions. "Am I under arrest?" "No, sir. We just need your statement about an incident involving Jessica Lane." I called my lawyer, met her at the station, and gave my statement. Told them everything. The affair, the rehearsal dinner, the park confrontation. My lawyer provided copies of the recordings, the emails, the evidence. The officers listened, took notes, and said they'd be in touch. I went home feeling sick. Even with evidence, even with the truth on my side, the accusation was out there. People would hear that Jessica filed a report. Some would believe her, no matter what. Frank called that night. "You okay?" "Been better." "Want some good news?" "Desperately." Monica went to the police too, filed a report about the affair, provided evidence of Jessica and Trevor's plan to frame you. She also mentioned that Trevor's been embezzling from his real estate company to fund his lifestyle. What? Yeah. Apparently Monica's been doing some digging, found some interesting discrepancies in Trevor's business accounts. She's turning everything over to his business partner. Monica's scary. Monica's amazing. She's not just getting divorced, she's getting revenge. I laughed for the first time in days. Good for her. There's more. The hotel canceled Jessica's contract. Said the scandal was affecting their reputation. She's lost 3 other clients too. Word's getting around. I should feel bad about that. But you don't. Not even a little. The police investigation took a week. They interviewed witnesses, reviewed evidence, checked Jessica's claims against the facts. In the end, they declined to press charges against me and warned Jessica about filing false reports. But the damage was done. The story was all over town. Some people believed me. Some believed Jessica. Most just enjoyed the drama. My business took a hit. A few customers canceled appointments, said they didn't want to get involved in all that mess. Others came specifically because they'd heard the story and wanted to support me. Jerry took it all in stride. People are stupid, he said. They'll forget about this in a month when someone else does something scandalous. I hope you're right. I'm always right, that's why I'm old and you're still learning. Miranda showed up at the garage the following Tuesday. She looked terrible, pale, tired, like she hadn't slept in days. Drew, can we talk? I almost said no, but curiosity won. 5 minutes. We sat in my office, a cramped space with a desk, a filing cabinet, and a calendar from 2019 that I kept forgetting to replace. I'm sorry, Miranda said, for all of it. For covering for Jessica, for not telling you about Trevor, for being a terrible person. Okay. That's it? Just okay? What do you want me to say, Miranda? You knew Jessica was cheating. You helped her lie to me. You were ready to back her up when she tried to frame me. Sorry doesn't really cut it. I know, but I need you to know I didn't support the false police report. I told her it was wrong. That's why we're not friends anymore. You're not? No. When I wouldn't lie to the police, she cut me off, called me a traitor, said I chose you over her. Did you? I chose the truth. There's a difference. I studied her. She seemed genuine, but I'd been fooled before. Why are you telling me this? Because Jessica's planning something else. I don't know what, but she's not done. She's talking to her father, to Trevor, to lawyers. She wants to make you pay. For what? I didn't do anything to her. You exposed her. In her mind, that's worse than anything she did to you. After Miranda left, I called Monica. We have a problem. What now? Jessica's planning something. Miranda came by to warn me. Of course she is. Jessica's not the type to accept defeat gracefully. What do? We stay ahead of her. I've been working on something. Can you meet me tomorrow? We met at the same coffee shop where we'd first plotted our revenge. Monica looked different, lighter, happier, like she'd shed a weight. You look good, I said. I feel good. Divorcing Trevor is the best decision I've made in years. How's that going? Beautifully. My lawyer's a shark. Trevor's going to lose the house, half his business, and his reputation, and that's before his business partner sues him for embezzlement. Embezzlement. Trevor's been skimming from company accounts for 2 years, funding his lifestyle, his affair, his fake image. I found the evidence and gave it to his partner. The police are investigating. I whistled low. Remind me never to cross you. Smart man. She slid a folder across the table. This is for you. Inside were printouts of social media posts, text messages, and emails, all from Jessica and her friends, spreading lies about me, calling me abusive, controlling, dangerous. I've been documenting everything, Monica said. Every lie, every false claim. If Jessica tries anything else, we have a defamation case. I don't want to sue her. You might not have a choice. Drew, she's not going to stop. People like Jessica don't accept responsibility. They deflect. They blame. They attack. You need to protect yourself. She was right. I knew she was right. What do you suggest? We go public. Tell the whole story, not just to the police or lawyers, but to everyone. Social media, local news, whatever it takes. We control the narrative before Jessica does. That's going to be messy. It's already messy. This way, at least we're steering. I thought about it. Thought about dragging everything into the light, making it all public, fighting back instead of just defending. Okay, I said. Let's do it. Monica and I spent the next week preparing our case. Not a legal case, a public one. We compiled evidence, organized timelines, gathered witness statements. Frank provided security footage from the resort, showing Jessica and Trevor together on multiple occasions. Mrs. Samuels gave a written statement about seeing them at the park. Jerry confirmed that Trevor had come to the garage to threaten me. Miranda, surprisingly, helped too. She provided screenshots of conversations with Jessica, where Jessica explicitly discussed the affair and the plan to frame me. I enabled this, Miranda said when she handed them over. The least I can do is help fix it. We created a website. Simple, clean, professional. The truth about Jessica Lane and Trevor Mason. Every piece of evidence, every timeline, every lie documented and sourced. Then we sent the link to everyone. Jessica's family, her clients, her friends, Trevor's business contacts, his social circle, his country club, local reporters, bloggers, anyone who might care. The response was immediate and explosive. Jessica's father called me within an hour. "You son of a bitch, take that website down right now." "No. I will sue you for defamation, for harassment, for telling the truth? Good luck with that. Everything on that site is documented and provable. You want to sue me? Go ahead. Discovery will be fun." He hung up. Trevor's business partner called next. "Is this real? Did Trevor really embezzle from the company?" "Ask Monica. She has the evidence." "Jesus Christ, we're ruined." "Not my problem." Jessica herself didn't call, but she posted on social media a long, tearful message about being victimized by a vindictive ex, about having her privacy violated, about being slut-shamed and harassed. The comments were split. Some people supported her. Others called her out, pointing to the evidence on the website. A few just enjoyed the drama. Local news picked it up. Small-town wedding scandal ran on the evening broadcast, complete with interviews. They tried to reach Jessica and Trevor but got no comment. They interviewed Monica, who was calm, articulate, and devastating. "My husband had an affair with his client," she said on camera. "They planned to frame her fiancé with false abuse allegations when they got caught. The evidence is public. People can judge for themselves. They interviewed me too, though I kept it brief. I just wanted to marry someone I loved. Found out she was lying to me. Everything else is just fallout." The story went viral locally, then regionally. News outlets from Portland and Boston picked it up. Maine wedding scandal became a trending topic. Jessica's event planning business collapsed. Every client canceled. Her website went dark. Her social media accounts went private. Trevor's real estate license was suspended pending investigation. His business partner kicked him out of the company. His country club membership was revoked. Jessica's father tried one more time to make it go away, offering me a settlement that would have paid off my mortgage, and then some. I declined. Monica declined too when he approached her. "Some things aren't for sale," I told him. "Your daughter destroyed my trust, my reputation, and my life. Money doesn't fix that." 2 weeks after the website went live, Jessica left town, packed up and moved to Portland, according to Mrs. Samuels. Trevor followed shortly after, though Monica's lawyer made sure he couldn't go far. The divorce proceedings and embezzlement investigation kept him tethered to the area. I thought that was the end, the final act. Everyone scattered, reputations destroyed, lives in shambles. But Jessica had one more move. She came back to town 3 weeks later, on a Saturday night. Came to the garage where she knew I'd be working late on a restoration project. I heard her car pull up, heard her heels on the concrete, looked up from the engine I was rebuilding to see her standing in the doorway. She looked different. Thinner, paler, older somehow, like the last month had aged her years. "Drew." "Jessica. What are you doing here?" "I needed to see you. To talk." "We don't have anything to talk about." "Please, just 5 minutes." Against my better judgment, I put down my tools and faced her. 5 minutes. She walked into the garage, looking around like she was seeing it for the first time. "You always loved this place more than our house." "This place never lied to me." She flinched. "I deserve that." "You deserve worse." "I know, Drew, I came to apologize, really apologize, not just say the words. I was wrong, about everything. The affair, the lies, trying to frame you, all of it." "Okay. Apology noted. Is that all?" "No. I need you to take down the website. Please. It's destroying my life." "It's destroying your life? Jessica, you destroyed your own life, and mine, and Monica's, and Trevor's. The website just made sure everyone knew about it. I can't get work, can't show my face in public. People recognize me from the news stories. They point and whisper, I'm a pariah." Welcome to how I felt when you were telling everyone I was abusive. I'm sorry about that. I was desperate and scared and willing to send me to jail to save yourself. Yeah, I remember. She started crying. Real tears this time, I thought. But I'd been wrong about her before. Please, Drew. I'm begging you. Take down the website. I'll do anything. There's nothing you can do, and I'm not taking it down. That website is the only thing keeping you from telling more lies about me. I won't. I promise I'll leave you alone. I'll never… Your promises don't mean anything. They never did. Jessica's tears stopped. Her face hardened. You're really going to keep punishing me forever? I'm not punishing you. I'm just not protecting you anymore. There's a difference. You're a bastard. Maybe. But I'm an honest bastard. Which is more than you can say. She turned to leave, then stopped. You know what? You're not the good guy in this story, Drew. You're vindictive and cruel. You could have handled this quietly, privately. Instead, you destroyed my entire life. You destroyed your own life. I just made sure you couldn't take mine down with it. I hope you're happy. I'm not. But I'm not miserable anymore either. That's something. Jessica left. I heard her car start, heard her drive away. Stood there in my garage, surrounded by tools and engine parts, feeling empty, not satisfied, not victorious, just tired. Frank showed up 20 minutes later. Saw Jessica leaving. You okay? Yeah, she wanted me to take down the website. You going to? No. Good. She doesn't deserve your mercy. It's not about mercy. It's about protection. That website stays up as long as she's a threat. Fair enough. Frank grabbed a beer from my mini fridge, tossed me one. You know what you need? What? A vacation. Get out of town for a while. Let things settle. Can't. Got 3 cars waiting for work and a transmission rebuild that's already late. Jerry can handle it. Jerry's 72. And more capable than both of us combined. Come on, man. When's the last time you took a day off? I couldn't remember. Before the engagement, probably. Before everything went to hell. Maybe you're right. I'm always right. Ask anyone. I took a week off. Drove up to Acadia, hiked, sat by the ocean, tried to remember who I was before Jessica. It helped. Not a lot, but some. When I came back, the garage was running smoothly. Jerry had handled everything, even picked up 2 new clients. Told you I could manage, he said, grinning. Never doubted it. Liar. You called me 3 times a day. Just checking in. Hovering. But I forgive you. Life started to feel normal again. Work, friends, the occasional beer at Frank's place. The scandal faded from the news cycle, replaced by other dramas, other stories. Monica stopped by one afternoon. Thought you'd want to know. The divorce is final. Congratulations. Trevor lost the house, his business, and most of his assets. The embezzlement charges are still pending, but his lawyer thinks he'll get probation and restitution instead of jail time. How do you feel about that? Honestly, I don't care anymore. He's not my problem. I got what I wanted, my freedom and my dignity. What's next for you? I'm moving. Boston, fresh start, new job, new apartment, new life. Good for you. What about you? What's next for Drew Harris? I looked around the garage, at the cars waiting for repair, at Jerry arguing with a parts supplier on the phone, at the life I'd built. This, I said, this is next. It's enough. Monica smiled. You know, when this all started, I thought we were both victims. But we're not. We're survivors. Survivors sounds better than victims. Definitely. She left for Boston the following week. We exchanged numbers, promised to keep in touch. Probably wouldn't, but it was nice to say. Miranda apologized one more time, brought me a 6-pack and an offer to help if I ever needed anything. I accepted the beer, declined the offer, but didn't slam the door in her face. Progress. Mrs. Samuels kept me updated on the gossip, whether I wanted it or not. Jessica was working at a hotel in Portland, apparently. Trevor was selling insurance. Both of them were keeping low profiles, trying to rebuild their lives. "Do you ever think about forgiving them?" Mrs. Samuels asked one day. "No," I said. "Forgiveness is for people who are sorry. They're just sorry they got caught." "That's very wise, dear." I have my moments. 6 months after the rehearsal dinner explosion, I was working late on a Friday when a woman walked into the garage. Mid-30s, professional clothes, uncertain smile. "Are you Drew Harris?" "That's me." "I'm Sarah. I read about what happened with your fiancé, the website and everything." "Oh no, not another reporter or curious gawker." "If you're here for gossip..." "No, I'm here because my car's making a weird noise, and 3 other mechanics told me it's fine. But I know it's not fine, and I heard you actually listen to your customers instead of dismissing them." I relaxed. "What kind of noise?" She described it. I diagnosed it in 30 seconds. Wheel bearing starting to fail. Simple fix, but dangerous if ignored. "Those other mechanics were idiots," I said. "This needs to be replaced before your wheel falls off." "I knew it. Thank you for taking me seriously. It's my job." She smiled. "Well, you're good at your job. Can you fix it?" "Sure, give me an hour." While I worked, she sat in my tiny waiting area, reading a book. When I finished, she paid, thanked me, and left. She came back 2 weeks later with a different problem, then a month later with an oil change, then just to say hi. 6 months after that, we went on a date, but that's a different story. I thought the drama was over. I really did. Jessica was in Portland, Trevor was selling insurance, and my life was finally settling into something resembling normal. I should have known better. It was a Thursday night, late October, almost a year after the rehearsal dinner disaster. I was closing up the garage when Trevor's rental car pulled into the lot. Not Trevor's car. He'd lost the BMW in the divorce, but I recognized him immediately. He got out slowly, hands visible, like he was approaching a wild animal. "Drew, I need to talk to you." "No, you don't. Get back in your car and leave. Please, 5 minutes. That's all I'm asking." Jerry had left an hour ago. Frank was off duty. I was alone. Smart move would have been to tell Trevor to leave and call the cops if he didn't. But I was curious. 5 minutes. Say what you need to say." Trevor looked terrible. The slick realtor polish was gone, replaced by discount store clothes and the haunted look of someone who'd lost everything. "Jessica's pregnant." Of all the things I expected him to say, that wasn't it. "Congratulations. Why are you telling me?" "Because she says it's yours." The world tilted. "What?" "She's claiming you're the father. Says you two were together right before the wedding fell apart. She's planning to file for child support." I laughed. Actually laughed. "That's insane. We weren't together for weeks before the rehearsal dinner. I can prove it. I was here at the garage every night. Jerry can vouch for that." "I know. I know it's not yours. It's mine. But Jessica's desperate. Her life is ruined. She can't find decent work, and she sees you as the only one who came out of this okay. She thinks you owe her." "I don't owe her anything." "I know that. But she's going to try anyway. I came to warn you. And to ask, can you help me stop her?" "Help you? Trevor, you destroyed my life. Why would I help you?" "Because this is wrong, even for Jessica. And because..." He looked away. "Because I'm trying to do the right thing. For once." The right thing would have been not sleeping with my fiancée. "I know. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm asking for help stopping Jessica from doing something that's going to hurt everyone, including the baby." I studied him. He seemed genuine, but so had Jessica once. "What do you want me to do?" "Paternity test. As soon as the baby's born. Prove it's not yours, prove it's mine. Then I'll take responsibility. Pay child support, be a father. But I need your help to make sure Jessica can't manipulate the situation." Why not just do a paternity test yourself? Because she won't let me. She's cut me off completely. Won't return my calls, won't see me. But she might see you if you ask. You're the one she's targeting. This was insane. All of it. But Trevor was right about one thing. Jessica was desperate, and desperate people do dangerous things. I'll think about it, I said. Now get off my property. Trevor nodded and left. I stood there in the empty garage, trying to process what I'd just heard. I called Monica. She was the only one who'd understand. She's doing what? Monica asked after I explained. Claiming I'm the father of her baby, which is impossible. Of course it's impossible. Jessica's a liar, not a miracle worker. What are you going to do? I don't know. Trevor wants me to help him prove paternity. Says he'll take responsibility if I do. Do you believe him? I don't know. Maybe. He seemed different. Broken. Good. He should be broken. But Drew, be careful. This could be another trap. I know. Want me to come back? Help you handle this? No. You've got your new life in Boston. Don't let Jessica drag you back into her mess. She's your mess too now, apparently. Story of my life. I didn't sleep that night. Kept thinking about Jessica, pregnant and desperate, trying to trap me one more time. Kept thinking about Trevor, genuinely remorseful or just playing another angle. Kept thinking about a baby that had nothing to do with any of this, but would suffer for it anyway. The next morning, Jessica called me. First time I'd heard her voice in months. Drew, we need to talk. About your fake pregnancy claim? Yeah, we do. Silence. Then, Trevor told you. He did. And it's not going to work, Jessica. I can prove the baby's not mine. Can you? Because I have dates, times, witnesses who will say we were together. Lying witnesses. Just like you. But go ahead. File for child support. We'll do a paternity test, and when it proves you're lying, I'll sue you for fraud and harassment. You wouldn't. Try me. I'm done being your victim, Jessica. Done being your backup plan. You want to play games? I'll bury you. More silence. Then quietly. I'm desperate, Drew. I have nothing. No job, no money, no future. This baby deserves better than what I can give it. Then let Trevor help. He's the father. He wants to take responsibility. Trevor's broke. The embezzlement case cleaned him out. Not my problem. It could be. You could help me. Help us. You're doing well. The garage is successful. No, absolutely not. I'm not paying for your mistakes. Please, Drew, I'm begging you. Like you begged me to take down the website? Like you begged me to forgive you? Your begging doesn't mean anything, Jessica. It never did. I hung up. She tried calling back. I blocked her number. She tried emailing. I filtered her to spam. She even showed up at the garage once, but Jerry told her to leave before I saw her. She looked rough, Jerry said. Really pregnant, really desperate. Not my problem. You're a cold man, Drew Harris. I'm a realistic man. Jessica made her choices. She can live with them. But it bothered me. Not because I felt guilty, I didn't, but because there was a baby involved now. An innocent kid who didn't ask to be born into this mess. I called Trevor. I'll help with the paternity test, but only to prove the baby's not mine. After that, you and Jessica are on your own. That's all I'm asking, thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing this for you. The baby was born in March, a girl. Jessica named her Emma, which felt like a knife twist because we'd talked about that name once, back when we were planning our imaginary future. The paternity test was done 2 weeks later. Trevor was the father, as everyone knew he would be. I was officially, legally, scientifically not involved. Jessica tried to contact me one more time after the results came back. A letter, handwritten, delivered to the garage. Drew, I know I don't deserve your forgiveness or your help. I know I destroyed everything good between us, but Emma deserves a chance. Trevor's trying, but he's barely making ends meet. If you could find it in your heart to help, not for me, but for an innocent baby. Please, Jessica. I read it twice. Then I threw it away. Jerry watched me do it. You're really not going to help? That baby has a father, 2 parents. They can figure it out. That's cold. That's realistic. I help Jessica now. She'll never stop asking, never stop manipulating. I have to cut the cord completely. Mixed metaphor, but I get your point. But it still bothered me. Late at night, when I couldn't sleep, I'd think about Emma, about a little girl growing up with Jessica and Trevor as parents, about what kind of life that would be. Then I'd remember what they'd done to me, the lies, the betrayal, the attempt to frame me, and I'd remember that I didn't owe them anything. Sarah, the woman I'd been dating, had opinions about it. You should help, she said over dinner one night. Why? That baby's not my responsibility. No, but you're in a position to help an innocent child. Doesn't that mean something? It means I'm a good target for manipulation. Again. Or it means you're a good person who can rise above what Jessica and Trevor did. I'm not a good person. I'm a person who got screwed over and learned from it. Sarah sighed. I'm not saying you should support Jessica, but maybe, I don't know, set up a fund for Emma, something she can access when she's 18. Help the kid without helping the parents. I thought about it, hated that I was thinking about it. I'll consider it. That's all I'm asking. I didn't set up a fund, didn't send money, didn't help at all, but I did ask Frank to keep an eye on things, make sure Emma was okay, that she wasn't being neglected or abused. She's fine, Frank reported a month later. Trevor's working 2 jobs. Jessica's doing some online marketing work. They're struggling, but the baby's healthy and cared for. Good. That's all I needed to know. Life moved on. The scandal faded into town history, the story people told newcomers to explain why Jessica Lane and Trevor Mason were persona non grata. My business thrived. Sarah and I got serious. The garage expanded. I thought that was the end of it. The final chapter. Everyone moved on with their lives, for better or worse. Then, 2 years after Emma was born, Jessica died. The call came from Frank. Drew, you need to know. Jessica's dead. I was under a car, replacing a muffler, and nearly dropped my wrench. What? Car accident. She was driving home from work late last night, hit a patch of ice, went off the road, died on impact. I crawled out from under the car, sat on the cold garage floor, trying to process. Emma? Wasn't in the car. She's fine. With Trevor. Jesus. Yeah, thought you should know. Funeral Saturday. After Frank hung up, I just sat there. Jerry found me 20 minutes later, still sitting, still holding my phone. You okay, kid? Jessica's dead. Jerry sat down next to me, joints creaking. How do you feel about that? I don't know. I should feel something, right? Relief, sadness, guilt, anything. But I just feel empty. That's normal. She hurt you bad. Hard to mourn someone who destroyed you. I didn't want her dead. I just wanted her gone. She's gone now, permanently. The funeral was at the church on Main Street. I didn't plan to go. Didn't think I should. But Sarah convinced me. You need closure, she said. This is your chance. I had closure. The website, the divorce, all of it. That was closure. No, that was revenge. Closure is different. So I went. Sat in the back, wearing my only suit, feeling like a fraud. The church was half empty. Jessica's family, a few friends who'd stuck by her, Trevor holding Emma. The service was brief. Jessica's father gave a eulogy that glossed over the scandal, painted Jessica as a troubled soul who'd made mistakes but was trying to do better. Trevor spoke too, voice shaking, talking about Jessica as a mother, as someone who loved Emma more than anything. I didn't speak, didn't go to the reception, just left quietly, drove back to the garage, and tried to forget. But I couldn't forget. For weeks I kept thinking about Jessica, about the woman I'd planned to marry and the woman she'd actually been, about the lies and the love and the waste of it all. "You're grieving," Sarah said. "That's okay." "I shouldn't be. After everything she did." "You loved her once. That doesn't just disappear because she hurt you. You're allowed to be sad." Maybe she was right. Maybe I was grieving, not for what Jessica was, but for what I'd thought she was. For the future we'd planned that never existed. 3 months after Jessica's death, Trevor showed up at the garage again. He looked better than the last time I'd seen him. Still struggling, but more together. Emma was with him, a toddler now with Jessica's eyes and Trevor's nose. "Drew, can we talk?" "What about?" "Emma, her future. I'm trying to do right by her, but I'm barely making it. 2 jobs, no savings, no safety net. If something happens to me..." "What do you want from me, Trevor?" "Nothing. I'm not asking for money or help. I just wanted you to know that I'm doing everything I can, that I'm not the guy who screwed you over anymore. I'm trying to be better. For her." He gestured to Emma, who was playing with a toy car, oblivious to the adult drama. "Good," I said. "She deserves that. I know you have no reason to believe me or trust me. But I wanted you to see, wanted you to know that Jessica and we paid for what we did. She paid with her life. I'm paying with mine. But Emma's innocent. She deserves a chance." "I agree." Trevor nodded. "That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for listening." He left. I watched him strap Emma into her car seat, watched him drive away in his beat-up sedan, and felt something shift inside me. Not forgiveness. I wasn't there yet. Might never be. But understanding, maybe. Recognition that Trevor was trying, that people could change, that the past didn't have to define the future. That night, I talked to Sarah about it. "I think I want to set up that fund. For Emma. Like you suggested." "Really?" "Yeah, not a lot. Just enough to help with college or whatever she needs when she's older. Anonymous. Nothing that ties back to me. Just something." Sarah kissed me. "I think that's beautiful. It's practical. The kid didn't do anything wrong. She shouldn't suffer because her parents were idiots." "Keep telling yourself that, Drew Harris. But I know the truth." "What's that?" "You're a good man, even when you pretend not to be." I set up the fund the next week. $10,000 invested conservatively, earmarked for Emma Mason when she turned 18. Anonymous, untraceable, just a small safety net for a kid who'd had a rough start. It didn't absolve Jessica or Trevor, didn't erase what they'd done, but it helped me sleep better at night. Life continued. The garage thrived. Sarah and I got engaged. A small proposal, nothing fancy, just the 2 of us at the beach where we'd had our first date. No drama, no scandal, no lies. Just 2 people who loved each other, choosing to build a life together. Frank was my best man. Monica flew in from Boston for the wedding, happy and successful, barely recognizable as the broken woman I'd met in that coffee shop years ago. "Look at us," she said at the reception. "Survivors." Damn right. "Think about them sometimes?" she asked. "Jessica and Trevor?" "Sometimes. Less as time goes on." "Me too. I used to be so angry. Now I'm just grateful. That whole mess led me here, to this life. If Trevor hadn't cheated, I'd still be married to him, still miserable, still pretending. Silver lining? Something like that. The wedding was perfect. Small, intimate, honest. Everything my first attempt wasn't. Sarah and I honeymooned in Ireland, came back to our house, the same house I'd shared with Jessica, but we'd renovated it, made it ours, and settled into married life. 2 years later, we had a daughter. Named her Grace, because we both agreed she was a gift we didn't deserve but were grateful for anyway. I thought about Jessica sometimes when Grace was born, thought about Emma, growing up without a mother, wondered if Trevor was managing, if the fund I'd set up would actually help, if any of it mattered. Then Grace would cry or laugh or grab my finger with her tiny hand, and I'd stop thinking about the past. The past was done. This was now. This was real. 5 years after Jessica's death, I ran into Trevor at the hardware store. Emma was with him, 7 years old now, chattering about her soccer team. "Drew," Trevor said, surprised. "Trevor, how are you?" "Good, better. I'm managing a car dealership now. Finally got some stability." "That's great, really." Emma tugged on Trevor's sleeve. "Dad, can we go? You promised ice cream." "In a minute, Em." He looked at me. "She's doing well. Good student, lots of friends. She's going to be okay." "I'm glad. I heard you got married, had a kid." "Yeah, daughter, Grace. Congratulations. You deserve it." We stood there, two men with complicated history, trying to find something to say. "I'm sorry," Trevor finally said, "for everything. I know it doesn't change anything, but I'm sorry." "I know. And I forgive you. Not for you. For me. So I can let it go." Trevor's eyes got wet. "Thank you." Emma tugged his sleeve again. "Dad." Okay. Ice cream time." He smiled at me. "Take care, Drew. You too." I watched them leave, father and daughter, and felt the last piece of anger dissolve. Not because Trevor deserved forgiveness, but because I deserved peace. That night, I told Sarah about the encounter. "How do you feel?" she asked. "Light, like I've been carrying something heavy and finally put it down." "Good. You've earned your peace." "We both have." Grace toddled over, demanding attention, and we forgot about Trevor and Jessica and all the drama that seemed so important once, but mattered so little now. Years passed. The garage expanded into a full-service shop. Sarah's career took off. Grace started school. Life was good, not perfect, nothing ever is, but good. The website stayed up. I'd promised myself it would stay as long as I needed protection, and I kept that promise. But I stopped checking it, stopped caring who saw it. It was history now, a record of something that happened to someone I used to be. 10 years after the rehearsal dinner disaster, Mrs. Samuels died. The whole town turned out for her funeral. She'd been the gossip queen, the neighborhood watch, the keeper of secrets. Her death felt like the end of an era. At the reception, Miranda approached me. We hadn't spoken in years. "Drew, it's good to see you." "You too, how are you?" "Good. Married, 2 kids, living in Augusta." "You?" "Same. Well, 1 kid. But good. I think about that night sometimes. The rehearsal dinner. How everything exploded." "Me too." "Do you regret it? How you handled it?" I thought about it. Really thought about it. "No. I did what I had to do, protected myself, told the truth. If I'd handled it quietly, privately, like Jessica's father wanted, she would have destroyed me. The public exposure was the only way to survive." "You're probably right, but it was brutal." "Yeah, it was. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. For my part in it." "I know. And I forgive you too." Miranda smiled. "We all grew up, didn't we?" "Eventually." 15 years after the scandal, I got a letter. From Emma. "Dear Drew, you don't know me, but my name is Emma Mason. My father is Trevor Mason. My mother was Jessica Lane. I'm writing because I recently turned 18 and discovered that someone set up a college fund for me. An anonymous fund that's been growing for years. My father says he doesn't know who did it, but I think maybe you do. If you're the one who helped me, I want to say thank you. I don't know what happened between you and my parents. My dad doesn't talk about it much, just says they made mistakes and hurt people. But whoever set up that fund gave me a chance. I'm starting college this fall. Pre-med. I want to be a doctor. Thank you for believing I could be more than my parents' mistakes. Sincerely, Emma Mason." I read the letter 3 times. Showed it to Sarah, who cried. "You have to write back," she said. "And say what?" That you're proud of her. That she's right. She's more than her parents' mistakes. That you believe in her. So I did. Wrote a short letter, congratulating her, wishing her well, not confirming or denying the fund, but letting her know someone was rooting for her. A week later, she wrote back. We became pen pals, in a way. Not close, not family, just two people connected by history and hope. 20 years after the rehearsal dinner, I sold the garage, retired at 52, healthy and happy, ready for the next chapter. Sarah and I traveled, saw the world, came back to Maine because we loved it, because it was home. Grace graduated college, started her own business, made us proud every day. I thought about Jessica sometimes, less as the years went on, but sometimes. Wondered what she'd think about Emma, about how her daughter turned out despite everything. Wondered if she'd be proud or jealous or indifferent. Mostly I thought about how one decision, inviting Monica to that rehearsal dinner, had changed everything, had destroyed my old life and built the foundation for my new one. I didn't regret it. Not anymore. The pain had faded, the anger had dissolved. All that remained was the story and the lessons learned and the life I'd built from the ashes. On the 20th anniversary of the rehearsal dinner disaster, Sarah and I went to the resort. The Harborview Room was hosting a different wedding, a different couple, a different future. Think about it? Sarah asked. Sometimes. You? Only when you bring me here. We watched the wedding party through the window. The bride looked happy. The groom looked nervous. The families looked excited. Think they'll make it? Sarah asked. Maybe, if they're honest with each other. If they choose each other every day. If they're lucky. We're lucky. Yeah, we are. We left the resort, drove home to our life, our daughter, our peace. The past was behind us. The future was ahead. And for the first time in 20 years, I didn't think about Jessica Lane at all. Some parties are better when canceled. Some lives are better when rebuilt. Some revenge is just survival wearing a different name. I survived, thrived, built something real from something broken, and in the end, that was the best revenge of all.